Good morning, Ramon. How are you on this fine day? Good morning, Teams team.
Hello, Mindy Hahn, the Midwest premier sports handicapper, and I say that with all sincerity. I'm doing great after a 7-0 performance for Team Steam. Congratulations to the team out there filing in to the room, the chat. We want to hear from you. You had great picks yesterday. Mindy and I were able to follow along with you guys and put together a 7-0 day for the team yesterday, Mindy. Great job by you, actually, starting us off. Chat coming in, confirming our suspicions on the
Right.
games, and coming through. The obvious winner, we'll start it right away with Monday Night Football. Not a, the ending saved the game. Tom wins. We all had a lot of fun. It was a terrible game, actually,
It was.
um, and terribly and terribly and horribly mismanaged down the stretch by the Saints. So, tell me about Monday Night Football. We scored easy with the under. Only maybe never a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, Tampa Bay just can't get it together. And then you have, at least a Saints team that was able to, make some turnovers. But overall, I mean, they could have really ran away with that game early in the first half. Olave having one, I don't know, bounce off his helmet, missing it. His first, I guess, drop pass, and there was others where the guys were wide open. Or I guess you could say, well, Tom Brady missed Julio when he was wide open. But to me, it just kind of seems like, folks here aren't playing to their potential or to their advantage or should have a better scheme, I would say, going forward. I know I never officially played the game, but I watch a lot of ball. I know a lot of coaches. And to me, it seems like you can, there are ways that both of these teams could, use different factors better. And I'm not sure why they're not. I think sometimes maybe perhaps outsmarting themselves. But at least Tom Brady got it done. I mean, that's what he's there to do. That's why he's the GOAT. I tell you, you still got to win games no matter how you look at it.
We spend too much time dealing with Tom's emotions. I mean, look, he is more emotional right now than he was early in his career. Maybe it's a reflection of before with the Patriots. You got to stay in line and everything, and you didn't need to be. Yeah, he showed some fire. If they won, I don't want to say a lot more. I mean, Tampa just won a Super Bowl recently, so we worry about his whole deal with his life. We know more about Tom than anybody else, so we ride with him. Even I watch the Manning cast because I feel like it's just for me more. It's too say what you want about Eli. It's two great quarterbacks talking about the game in real time, a real education, really, every time. Yeah, we do the interviews; those are cool too. But and nothing against the other guys, but you really are getting some true insight, even if it's prepackaged and everything. So when I hear these guys talk, rooting for Tom down the stretch, basically, they cheer for the Saints players. It seems like mostly they root for offense, but we worry about Tom. He's screaming at 1 minute and then pulls it off in the end, and it's all hugs and smiles.
Right. Yeah, and that's why I always kind of like Tony Romo too. I like how he breaks down games as an announcer. I haven't watched the Manning cast here this season, but I did watch it a lot last. So I'll have to check that out again because I do feel like sometimes you're missing out on the inside of the guys that were there. You kind of makes you feel like you're more on the field and what they're looking at and what they see defensively, and that's what I think. What I think is super cool about them, doing that broadcast.
Yeah, well, I'm not dwelling on saying watch it or anything, but I'm more about Tom's emotion, and riding with him down the stretch of these games. They could be a 7-10 division champion, hosting one of these, strong teams and somehow get the Tom magic going, if you will. So I don't know. We we won the game on the under. I thought Tampa would win and cover, but right now they're not covering any numbers. In fact, if you saw it, I mean, we talk about Tom's success but he's terrible, right? He's like going into like you know bad Monday, bad primetime guy territory against the spread right now.
Well,
It's
1 and
pretty
5
bad.
on third down. I mean, we got to do better. you know?
Yeah. So Monday Night Football, Bucks get the win. They'll be going to, look like somehow win this division. Maybe under 500. I say 7-10. Maybe 8-9 is more realistic, but I think it's going to be hard to finish above 500 in that division right now, and that's a fact. I think if you look at the remaining schedule, it's close. Yeah, they could win a game or maybe even be a short favorite in one of those games but could be a tough game too. That you go on the road and lose. So, anyways, Mindy, just more winners yesterday. Don't want to talk about too much, but let's go over to Tony'sPicks.com and look at the homepage where we can look at the handicapper leaderboard. Gerardo, hello to everyone.
Yes,
Walk
good
This
morning.
Way is here. Mindy, Walk This Way, 1975. So I think that's more of an Aerosmith reference than a Run DMC Walk This Way reference. But Blake's here, Jose and Curtis are here. Take a look, Mindy. Morning Steam. That's you. That's me.
That's
That's
right.
everyone in the chat. We're 7-0 yesterday. I hope everyone was playing the games. Let us know what games you were on. Tiffany, also a great day. 6-0. Collins, another clockwork. 3-0. Paul, 2-0. World Cup coming up at the top of the hour preview. Those games, we'll just cover them anyway in just a moment. But and Mindy, you were 5-3. But let's take a look at our winners first. Over on the morning Steam, 7-0, and review it with our cappers as well. Look at our college basketball right now, 26-17 record, our best sport. And yesterday, though we did it in hockey, we had the Canadians plus a goal and a half. In that wild game, 13 goals. Arizona, they did find a way again. We talked about them on the puck line. The Grizzlies win against Miami, and without Ja Morant, after we had, I didn't think it was a factor. I didn't think Ja was going to be doubtful, but he doesn't play. Memphis still beats Miami.
You're right.
The Oklahoma City Thunder, Mindy, SGA right now, it's not a big game. It's as average at this point. I mean, 35. You figure 35, 6-5. I mean, this guy is a first-team NBA guy right now. He's incredible for the Thunder. They won the game. They won the game outright at Atlanta, right?
Yeah. I mean, I was watching some football, so didn't really get to see that, but was definitely following along with score updates via my app. So yeah, I mean, not really ever worried about losing too many of these games as we went along last night.
Flyers get it done against the Avs. That one got wild late. It was actually 3-1, then 3-2, then 4-2, then 4-3, then 5-3.
Right, yeah, with just all in the third period with about 2 minutes to go. I think there was about 4 goals scored.
Yeah, pulled the goalie, and then things broke loose, and the Rangers take care of the Blues 6-4. So good day for Team Steam. Good job, everybody. 7-0. Let's get ready and do it again. But let's also go take a look at your day, Mindy. 5-3. Click on the All Cappers tab to see all the handicappers at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 20% off all of the premium pick packages. Mindy, 5-3 yesterday. What were some of the good points, and what do you have today?
Well, I split in college basketball. Just missed the sweep there with my same game, play by a bucket. It went over when I had the under. Also swept the board there in the NBA on my over under. And then I just missed there. Well, not just missed, but in that wild one where there was lots of goals scored there right at the end of the game. But they put up 3 in the first period. So I was already a little bit nervous, with that Canadians Vancouver Canucks game that they put up a 13? Goodness.
Don't dwell on that. Look at these winners. Pacers and Warriors well under 239. Suns and Mavs go way over as Dallas ends up clubbing the Suns. So I kind of rode the Suns there and figured they could fight through because they've been so good as a dog. Uh, Clippers and Charlotte goes way over for a winner for you, and also Blues and Rangers way over the total. Today, Mindy, you've got NHL best bet, NBA best bet,
And
and
then, yep, got a 3-pack there as well. And then, if you would like all of my plays for the day so far, you can get them in a 5-pack. So you got your NBA and your NHL all in one spot. Should be a good, really good day.
$40. You see Mindy there. 13-2 streak right now in the NBA. Doing great, coming off a good card yesterday. Showed you right there. So great run for Mindy in the NBA. I'm heating up in college basketball with a 12-3 run currently. So don't forget, check out my packages up there at tonyspicks.com. You can always go to the upcoming tab, and this is where you get all the latest plays every day. And you see right there, this will be our segue, because coming up at the top of the hour, Paul and Nick, they're both in with a side. And Paul also has the total in the late game. Spain and Morocco coming up. Morocco, the surprising group winner, coming into this game against Spain, but they're still a goal underdog against Spain. And then Switzerland and Portugal. Portugal going to be the favorite there against the Swiss. But it just seems to me, Mindy, I'll tell you, maybe we'll preview right now. Get out of tonyspicks.com and get ready to start the previews of the show. But right now you have nervous teams willing to go to the, if they can. I mean, you don't want to make a mistake. You don't want to lose. And here comes to, okay, we'll get to it in just a moment. I should have been better on that, actually. Should have been in my notes. And Gerardo's going to come in with a play in the World Cup. So what you have is right now teams that are playing conservative enough, they might be willing to take their chances in a penalty kick if they can. So thanks, Tiffany, for coming in. Mindy's birthday today, she says. And so we're here still. Look, Mindy's here on the show on her birthday.
Well, thank you.
That actually makes me feel really good.
Well, I saw the 1975. That might be my birth year. Walk This Way. So I'm guessing, they may be also around my same age.
Great point.
Yeah.
Great point. Now that you mention it.
Right.
All right, Mindy. Happy birthday! Oh my God, I forgot, and I knew, but.
I know. So I might not make the afternoon show today because my brother wants to take me out for lunch. So I probably should. I don't get to see him, too often because he lives clear on the other side of Nebraska. So we're gonna go, meet some folks for lunch. I think we're going to China Buffet. Can't wait.
And look at now, everyone willing to chime in. This is
right.
So awesome.
Well, thank you. I feel so much love today.
Yeah, this is really hot now, actually. We could just sit. I'll just sit here until you guys are done. I'm okay with that.
Right.
Feel good.
Yeah.
Right now to.
All gifts accepted. I mean, I'll take any gift. Whatever. Yeah. Right. Oh, funny.
Mindy's Amazon gift list can be found. You don't have an OnlyFans. Okay, I better hurry up, you guys, before I get us in trouble. It'll be a fun day. And, Mindy, maybe we can have another perfect day.
Right. We need another good birthday day. I mean, good things need to happen on your birthday, right?
Now we can carry it over from the 7-0 day as we get ready. I'm just waiting to see.
And Ramon, I'm getting my family has ordered me my favorite cake, right? Which is marble with buttercream icing from the Sugar Makery right down the street.
Okay.
So it's my favorite place. So there we go.
That sounds good. I mean, actually, like a buttercream, like Yeah, I mean, kind of like, is it like the center of a C's candy buttercream type of thing?
I don't know, but that's interesting that you know all about the See's Candy, which is right here at the Nebraska Furniture Mart, right? So See's Candy is from Omaha, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
So I mean, but I don't know if I've had that. But the buttercream is just that it's like it's not a whipped cream. It's smoother, like silkier. Not
yeah,
so it's like less whipped cream. So it's my favorite type of icing on cake.
no, it's got to be the same, and I'm just trying to character because I just know that I like buttercream. You know, when I go to C's, I don't order off the shelf. I order an entire box of chocolate buttercreams. I mean, that's
Oh, I
what
gotcha. Okay.
I
Okay.
don't just go with some random gift box with the different kinds where everyone punches the bottom of the candy to see what it is. If you don't know by now, you don't know.
Yeah.
Uh,
Right.
I mean,
See, now I know. I can get you some See's candy and some Omaha steaks. See, the next time you get your permanent address in Vegas.
those are elite chocolates. So,
Yeah.
you know, but
Yeah.
we're supposed to be giving you the gifts, and hopefully, maybe the chat will give us gifts with more winning picks. We're going to preview uh, NBA. We've also selected the best college basketball games. The best games are tomorrow. It's just a big card today. I don't think it's really a terrific card today. We do have the two big games in Madison Square Garden, the one that you're fired up about as well, Mindy. That'll probably be the wrap up to your day, I would imagine, when the Hawkeyes take on the Blue Devils. So it walks this way, says, thank you, Dallas, and over. He's ordering the Omaha steaks right now. Matt might be a little behind us, but he's still talking about the football game and the 44-yard penalty. Another, that's what I don't think that'll ever go away in the NFL. I don't think you're ever going to see the reduction to a 15-yard penalty, though. I don't know. I don't think that's what Matt means, though. That really just the penalty itself, but 44 yards is a long way. Why don't more teams do it? Why don't more teams just chuck it up and take chances? I don't want to say like Patrick Mahomes but again, I think sometimes his interceptions are because he doesn't fear losing it to his stats.
Right.
Trying to make I think that's a good sign of a winner in a way. You never rarely see, well, maybe a little bit more this year, but his interceptions rarely become impactful. It's one of those where you always say, well, it's just like a punt. All right, let's get ready to go into the games for today. So,
and thank you everyone for the birthday wishes.
Happy birthday to Mindy. Yep.
My birthday is still one of my favorite days, even though I'm old now. But I do enjoy my birthday yet. I feel special for one full day.
Okay, well, I'll be there today. Okay, we're going to start off with the rundown here in the NBA. We start with the Lakers and the Cavs. We want your comments in the chat. We want your picks in the chat. That's becoming the most important part.
Luckily we don't have to harass anyone for their bad picks today.
Right? No one's come. Right? We told them to come back tomorrow if any of us screwed up. Right? And Reese, nice to see you. 954 Reese.
We're getting to those best bets. We'll come up with some.
Yep.
Just got to hang out with us for 45 minutes or so.
It's nice to have Reese. Don't recognize that name, so welcome. You're a member of Team Steam. Reese, just type in your pick as we go along here on the preview of all the games. It's just a 3-game NBA card, Mindy, starting it off with the Lakers and the Cavs. Make sure you put your comments in the chat as we get going here with this one. Mindy, Lakers playing well now all of a sudden, kind of getting it together, but playing one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, I know, but I kind of feel like I got to stick with those Lakers, here today. They have won 3 in a row. They have put up 130 plus points in those games. And I have this Cavaliers team that we kind of talked about yesterday, just really not putting up the points as I expect. Lakers 3-1 against the spread versus the Cavs over the last 2 seasons also. I'm going to take the Lakers in this one, plus 4.5.
Okay, let's see if they can keep it going. The Lakers are starting off so hot right now in the first half. That's been, I think kind of the key with that, right? Reese coming in with a play, coming in hot with a play early, says take the over. Crush says, how about the Cavs? Walk this way with the Cavs. This is the fun part of the show now. We got everybody trained and doing exactly what we need to do. Crush Diamond, Crush Diamond says he loves the favorites in the NBA. And yesterday, Mindy, the favorites rolled to victory. I think only one underdog ended up winning at all on the card, and that was, I think,
The
OKC,
Hornets,
right?
right? The Hornets, weren't they plus?
Oh,
Oh, you're talking about just straight up or against the spread?
yeah, just straight up.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, and so very interesting. Maybe Houston, right? So, anyways, I think the favorites did well yesterday. I'm trying to remember, but Crush says he likes all the favorites, and he means against the spread. I would think here today, Curtis Mann. So look at this. That exactly what I was saying, right? They've come out so hot. They've won the last 11 in a row. Now I know that's straight up, but that's the way they've been performing, coming out hot. So, and walk this way does say Cavs just to fade the Lakers a little bit. Yeah, Lakers.
We're still fading the Lakers. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, they're definitely playing a lot better right now. 7-2-1 against the spread in their last 10. You mentioned Cleveland not scoring, but they're totally doing the job at home right now. 9-1-1 in their last 11 against the spread at home. So Cleveland 5 straight unders, 2-8 to the under last 10. Lakers coming out hot. They're definitely playing to overs right now. Lakers have also covered 4 straight on the road. Big news here will probably be Jarrett Allen probably going to be able to play in this game. That may change things a little bit. Walk this way going over. Oh, you guys are going to be upset with me, but Mindy's going to take the Lakers. I'm going under in this one with these two teams. I know what's going on. I mean, look, I see these Lakers coming out big time. I think Cleveland's defense is kind of getting back to where it needs to be. If Jarrett Allen is in this game, I think it'll make a big difference as well. So it looks like I'm totally in opposite of what the chat's saying on this one. Walk this way likes it way, way over. I get it. The move's on the over as well, Mindy, so far. It opened 224. It's now up to 225 and a half. So
Ramon, I feel like I should come to your defense because I like the under as well here in this one. I know it's it's us against the chat, which we don't care for, but the Cavs here just haven't really been scoring, and then they're going to come up against this Cavaliers team, the Lakers. I think this one will tick to the under here as well.
Anthony Davis has been, I'll make fun of him. I won't make fun of him when he's injured like that. But I'll make fun of him when the ball bounces on his head and say, well, look, he's going to be out for another week. But right now he's playing great. And he's playing, kind of as well as he has in his entire career. But that's just when he's playing well, he is still an elite player. So don't forget LeBron coming into Cleveland, always a big factor. Crush does say like the defense maybe with Allen back. Does look like Allen will be in there. Cleveland's won 6 straight at home. So good game tonight. With the
Yep. So we're coming right out of the chute here with challenges. All right. Yep. So we'll
challenges the chat. Mindy and I are kind of an opposite, just opposite plays though for Mindy and I. She's on Lakers plus the points. I'm on the under. All right, let's see if we can get it together.
All right, try another one. Here we go, folks. Here we go.
Great comments. That was hot. If we could do that every time. Detroit and Miami here. Miami is down to an 8-point favorite against almost a cover machine of late, the Pistons. Total 221.5.
Yeah, I mean, I was, a little bit nervous last time out with the Pistons, but they're, playing some pretty decent ball here, even with injuries and such. Both these teams lost to the Grizzlies their last time out. Pistons lost, by 10. Heat losing by 8. The Heat here putting up 109 points a game. Pistons 110. Statistically, from the floor, they're almost identical here. But the Pistons 3-1 against the spread versus the Heat on the road over the last 3 seasons here. I'm going to stick with those Pistons. They've been able to cover, so let's go ahead and try them out here. +8.
Yeah, they've been a nice cover, 6-2-2 to the number in their last 10. Miami just 3-8-1 against the spread at home, and 0-7 to the number as a favorite on the back-to-back. Of course, we saw them lose at Memphis last night. Miami, they've got a coach that kind of plays that rest game a little bit with Spoelstra. So I think Detroit probably going to be pretty live here as an underdog in this one. Mindy, I'm going to side with you. Let's get it started with a premium consensus. I kind of lean to the under as well. So kind of think that getting 8 points, not 8.5, but still just 8. Looks like a pretty good spot again for Detroit. Like that fact that Miami, doesn't really respond in the back-to-back. So Crush says Butler was coasting yesterday in there, and yeah, he was kind of a late addition, I think, to the lineup. Was his status was definitely in a little bit of question heading into the game. It looked like he was going to play and did end up playing. So might not be. I don't know if Crush is kind of saying, maybe he'll be playing in a back-to-back. He might not, or maybe he was expecting that maybe he will be playing back-to-back, so he didn't maybe exude 100% energy in a game that they started to fall pretty not far behind, but they were behind, right? So, all right, one more, Mindy. So we got a consensus there on Detroit. All right. This one with the Mavs and the Nugs. Blake also on Pistons. Mavs and the Nuggets in this one. The Nuggets right now 4.5, 223.
Yeah, Nuggets here are ranked 8th in the NBA. Mavericks 17th in scoring. Nuggets here also first in field goal percentage right now, well over 50%. Second in 3-point percentage at 40%. Mavericks, on the other hand, they're, middle of the pack here, 12th in field goal percentage, 14th in 3 points. I think we were, back to, I think we were at one point fading the Mavericks, and I think we were fading the Bulls there a couple times. So I'll stick with that. I like the Nuggets today. They're 7-2 against the spread their last 9 here. So I'll take the Nuggets at home, -4.5.
Okay, Mindy will take Denver at home. Curtis says also he likes Denver at home. Dallas just 3-7 against the spread on the road, but Dallas is 4-1 against the spread at Denver. And well, they finally did show a little bit of life in their last game. I mean, yeah, Dallas has been one of the biggest disappointments in the league thus far. Denver 2-6 to the under at home, but I think this one gets loose. In my opinion, I think this one does go upwards of close to 230. I'm going to go over in Dallas and Denver tonight. The widely reported steam has already come in on the over in this game, so I'm going to be taking the over. I'm going to back that steam. I'm going to chase that steam, if you will. So Mindy's on Denver laying the points. I'll take the over. 223, and that's the 3-game NBA card. We got one consensus
so our
play.
best bet out of it, Pistons +8.
Hey, 3 games. What are you going to do? We came up with one thanks to the chat. And again, just like yesterday, where like no one can come in. We don't have the watchdog here or anything like that because of our 7-0 day. But I think if I get beat on that Lakers-Cleveland game, Mindy, you just remind me, so because I don't know if the chat sometimes they don't want to make me feel bad. All right, you guys, let's take a look. We got college ball today. Like I said, these games maybe not as, I don't know, tomorrow's got some really nice games, but in college ball, we've got a 5-pack of games to look at. See if we can come up with some plays, Mindy, because right now we're putting together a pretty good record here on the morning steam in college basketball, thanks to you guys in the chat. So get ready for these. Remember, we just showed our exemplary record in college basketball right now with Team Steam kind of carrying us a little bit and well above 500. And what was it? Was it 700 units or so, or was it even?
Oh, I
Yeah,
can't remember now, but
well,
yeah,
almost 800, I think.
it
So
was pretty close to that. We've been firing on all cylinders here in college basketball, so we're ready for some more winners here. I think
all
these
right,
are fun games. I think it's going to be a pretty good card.
Yale and Butler. I'll go with the Bulldogs. Who do you got?
I got the Bulldogs.
All right, let's move on. Next
All
up,
right, next.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
Yale here.
Bulldogs.
But Yale, they're 8-1, 2-1 on the road, 2-1 against the spread. Butler 6-3, 5-0 at home, 4-1 against the spread at home. They say Yale is off to the best start in about 77 years. I'm glad they're still,
Oh my God.
keeping stats for that long here. Butler struggled with Tennessee Tech. So that's a little bit concerning to me, Yale has held all but two opponents to under 60 points here. I have this one actually, going over the total in my modeling. I have a final score of about 137. So I'm going to go over the total here today, Ramon.
I can't believe it, Mindy, because this total actually has dropped to 131.5. The widely reported steam came in on the over. I like it to go over as well, and I'm going to be right there with you. And we're going to have our first consensus play, no matter what the chat says. We beat them to it. Yale, I mean, they've done it with defense. There's no doubt about it. This great start, I didn't really realize that. And Daryl Turner, nice to have you with us.
Yes, haven't seen him in
Great
a
to
while.
see a new guy, new people here, Mindy, today for sure. That's a great sign. Anyways, Yale has done it with defense. I didn't realize that's a great stat because you'd think that Yale, even though they're in the Ivy League and yeah, they can, not match up these days anyway, but we know the great history of the Ivy League that you'd think that somewhere along the line they would have, had a just as decent of a start as this. So
Right.
Crush does say Butler in the game. So I like it to go over, though. Butler's 5-1 to the over is a favorite. They're at home in this game. Yes, Yale has done it with defense. They can still bring that same defense. Butler can, they're no doubt slow you down, but we still should be dealing with, a little bit of a gap in quality of capability of the teams. Butler, I think, as expected, 6-point favorite. Maybe not as expected, 6-point favorite. You talk about Yale's hot start. Maybe Butler. You talk about their woes a little bit, but they're still 5-1 against the spread as a favorite. So still, you'd think at Hinkle, this still be a pretty decent situation for Butler. So, but Yale 6-1 against the spread. Not sure on the number. Let's go over in this one. Yale and Butler. I don't doubt Yale's ability to come in and play some tempo, but I think teams are playing pretty well, and I think that they can get into some points anyway. It won't be ugly. I think this will be a very aesthetically pleasing game.
Right.
Daryl coming in with some nice information on the Ivy this year. Says Yale and Princeton best in the Ivy this season is his prognostication. Doesn't sound too far off from what the ratings say right now.
I always liked that Cornell team too. He was talking about them being probably third, which is probably true, but I do like them as well.
Great comments today in the chat. Hot comments. All right, and I think someone wants some information on this game, and yes, we've already selected it as one of our games to preview. Yeah, Daryl also said, how about this game, Mindy, with Illinois and Texas? I'm showing this one. There's already been a pretty big move. All the lines you see are probably about 2.5 hours old. So right now I'm showing Texas 2.5, 139.5.
Yeah, Illinois 5-3 against the spread. Texas 3-3 against the spread. So wasn't this Texas opened at -4, then went to -2? Are they back to -4, Ramon?
No, 2.5
okay.
with some juice, though. We could be seeing a 3 at some places right now, and the total's 139.5. But
All right.
Texas holding pretty steady right now. 2.5 or 3.
Yeah, but I mean, I just think this
Madison
Texas
Square Garden, by
team.
the way. Sorry, Mindy. Just
Yeah,
want to mention the neutral site game.
so you're doing the verse instead of the at. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I just think this Texas team here, they just kind of tend to find ways to to win. Um, this Texas defense is pretty feisty, right? I mean, Illinois, they tend to dominate the paint. But I'm not sure if that's going to be a real big, problem here with Texas, today. I think, going up against Kalkbrenner for Creighton, I think he's one of the better guys in the paint. And they didn't have too much problems with him. I kind of think I'll go ahead and take Texas here minus 2.5 today.
All right, Mindy says take Texas in this one, minus 2.5 points. Texas, obviously have won every game so far. So these teams definitely in neutral site situations like this. Curtis says take Illinois in the points in this one. I'm gonna side with Mindy here. I like Texas to win this game. Illinois 6-2, pretty decent. Daryl comes in, says Texas has problems at the free throw line. He says he likes it to go under. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, Texas is already 1-5 to the under this season, so
Correct.
I like Texas in the game. Also, Mindy against Illinois here. We've got back-to-back consensus in a sport that we're pretty hot on right now. Let's take Texas. Don't mean to slight Curtis there. He helped us with so many winners yesterday.
Right.
Curtis definitely had us on some winners, no doubt, yesterday. So
But yeah, I don't mind the under either. That's where I have this one headed.
yeah, might even be doing a little something later on. We'll see.
I have it by like 6 going under. So
Oh.
yeah. So we'll see. Huh?
All right. Great comments today from the chat. And we'll take a look next here with Georgia and Georgia Tech. Well, this is there are rivalries, and this is a pretty good basketball rivalry for sure with these two. And in this one, I'm showing Georgia Tech right now all the way up to 4.5, and the total 132.5.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can make an argument that Georgia's playing better this year, right? Just based off of the record they had last season. Georgia's 3-6 against the spread. Georgia Tech 5-2 against the spread. Both these teams though trend pretty big to the under. Georgia still with about 4 starters out, some knee soreness, ankle injury, sickness. I think I'm going to go under this 132.5, Ramon.
All right, Mindy says take the under. Georgia and Georgia Tech. Teams are combined 4-12 to the under so far this season. Georgia 0-2 against the spread as an underdog, though, Mindy, in those with that decent start, and Georgia Tech 4-0 against the spread as a favorite. I was almost willing to come in with a premium with Georgia Tech. With 1.5 more, and I'm kind of leaning over actually. I'm going to end up with Georgia Tech for here as my free play. On the side, Georgia said Georgia is getting better than Georgia Tech. Okay, looks like I'm in the minority here in this one with the group. So, but Mindy did say she liked the under 132.5, and I'll take Georgia Tech in this one. All right, those are the early games that we're going to look at. Skip ahead to some of the national games on the night slate and head out to Mindy Country, where Maryland and Wisconsin are going to meet in this clash. And I'm showing in this one, Mindy, I did see some other movement here real quick. Yeah, Wisconsin now up. They've taken some widely reported steam. They are minus 1.5 now, and the total 128.5.
Well, Maryland just beat up on Illinois, by 5. They're 7-1 against the spread. Wisconsin 6-2 against the spread, and as we know, they took out Marquette by 3. I don't know. The Badgers kind of have the Terrapins number here in the last couple of matchups. Won the last 2 out of 3 here. I don't know. This one's going to be a good one, I think. But the road team is 3-0 here. But I have this one going way over the total of 128. I mean, I have this one at like a 143, 146. I mean, it seems like almost too good to be true here. That's why I'm going to go ahead and give this out as, a free play here. I just have everything based off of, rolling averages. And also, some of these trends are to the over, when Maryland, plays, out on the road. So I'm going to take the over 128.5.
All right, Mindy. On the over here, yeah, I'll worry about, I don't know. There's not much to support it really, other than the fact that the style of Wisconsin can be that way, slowing it down. But that's a reasonable 128.5. It's a pretty reasonable number, actually. So let's see what we got. Wisconsin over here for Curtis, he says. So Maryland 7-1 against the spread in those 8 victories so far. Wisconsin 6-2 straight up and against the number. Wisconsin's taking that steam. I gotta respect that steam. I think Wisconsin gets it done at home today. I'm going to
It should
take
be a good one, Ramon.
Badgers. Yeah, and again, I like the move. Market play for me, I think here. I definitely think Maryland has a chance right now to keep that undefeated record going. Such a tough place to play at the Cole. So we'll go with Wisconsin here. All right, Mindy, a game that you're obviously looking forward to tonight at Madison Square Garden, the second game at the Garden between Iowa and Duke in this one. And Duke is 2.5 right now. It's gone. I've seen it 1.5. I've seen it 3.5. Back down to 2.5 now. Total.
Yeah, so this is going to be on the main screen during Cake and Ice Cream. So I mean, how can we go wrong with this today, right? I mean, Iowa's 5-2 on the road against the spread. Duke 5-5 at home. Duke's been a little bit kind of struggling. Maybe even you can say versus the Big Ten. I know they beat Ohio State, but couldn't take down Purdue. Iowa's a good shooting, rebounding team. We got some folks on there that can put up some double doubles. Iowa won, last time out. They're 11-4 against the spread in the last 15. Iowa is, and Duke is 1-5 against the spread in the last 6. I'm going to go here with Iowa. I think they can. I think they can keep this one close. And again, it kind of worries me a little bit. I think this one's going to be pretty close. I have it within 3 points. So again, that's my free play. I'm going to go with Iowa here. I'd rather have Iowa getting 3 than the 2.5.
Is anybody talking about yet? That Duke maybe now that with Shire's coach and Coach K's, is that some of the mystique is starting will disappear a little bit. Look, Coach K left the program in tremendous hands, but where was Duke before Coach K, and where will they be after him? Right? They were nothing. I mean, no disrespect to the Dukies. They're a great school. They were something before Coach, but I mean, he made that whole situation for all those years. They took a chance on the guy from Army, and he made he made the magic. All those years. So Daryl says he likes Duke to roll. Yeah, I get it. And I'm going to end up going over in this one. I think it's showtime tonight at the Garden with these two teams right now. They're combined 5-12 to the under, so can't really sell you on that, but I can maybe sell you on the fact that the total's already moved from 146.5 to 147.5. Got to think, both teams well into the high 70s here, I would think, in this one. Iowa 1-2 against the spread off of their home floor, kind of phrase it that way. So we'll see. But I'll take the over in this one. Mindy's on guys. Yep, that's a look at college basketball. And somebody's asking to recap because they missed some of the plays. So we got Yale and Butler over, and we've got Texas. 2 plays in college basketball.
2 winners.
Walk This Way was saying, do we recap? He's kind of busy at work. So hopefully he's catching that. Yale and Butler over, Texas. We'll repeat them right after a 7-0 day. We'll just say the plays again. Yale and Butler over. Texas. All right, that's a look at our 5 games in college. We'll see you tomorrow, Minnie. It's a nice card, and if we stay hot, maybe we'll do a few more and come up with more winners. So, okay, we got a hockey card, and let's start to call it up here. Bear with me, Mindy. And a nice big card here tonight. 9 games on the slate, and yeah, we had some pretty decent plays yesterday on the ice with Team Steam. We already talked about Rangers, Flyers, Arizona puck line, Montreal puck line. Okay, here we go. Boy, I gotta organize this better.
Finding it?
Okay, yep. And we'll have the Kings on the road against the Senators here. And Senators were actually a slight favorite when we put these in. Right now, Mindy, I'm showing that it's Senators still about $1.15 or so, 6.5 under 15.
Yeah, so Kings and Senators, when I first looked at it, I was like, what? Senators minus 120? And then I put all the information in, and then it said Senators minus 120. So, I mean, I got the Senators here today, minus 115. Won the last game versus the Sharks 5-2. Kings lost to the Hurricanes 4-2. Again, Kings ranked 29th in goals, against. So it's not like, they're, playing terribly, I guess. I don't know. The Senators are only 16th in goals against. I don't know. Senators 4-1, last 5 overall. I feel like I shouldn't be picking the Senators, but I have the Senators today.
Yeah, no, I think the Senators might be the side in this one. We'll mention also at a plus 225 on the puck line. They're 8-5 as a puck line favorite. So, man, that's a nice return to lay just a goal and a half against the Kings team that, they've shown the ability to win games on the road, but they've also shown the ability to give up goals on the road. So Curtis does say right there, Ottawa puck line. I'm with you, Curtis, on that, but I want to go with it's a reasonable play that Mindy's calling for, and I like Ottawa in the game. We'll go with them on the money line as a premium consensus for sure against my Kings, against our Kings. Tony Kings, our Kings.
Right.
So we'll take Ottawa, though, in this one. I would say Daryl asked if we like the over, and I would say that, Ottawa, either way, yeah, I would think that I do like the over a little bit. Yeah, I'm maybe not. I don't know. At 6.5, I mean, it was, what were you expecting? Obviously, it was going to be 6.5, but it seems reasonable. 4-3 seems reasonable. 4-2 also seems pretty reasonable. However, so I'd rather go with Ottawa in this one and take the Senators over the Kings. We're off with a premium consensus to get it rolling in the NHL.
I have it over by a half a puck.
Detroit and Tampa Bay here, big favorite. Tampa Bay minus 230 or so. Total 6 over 25.
Lightning are putting up some goals here. They're scoring 4 in their last 5 games. Red Wings averaging 3 over those same 5 games. Over is 5-1 the Lightning's last 6. Over 6-0 in the Red Wings last 6 on 1 day's rest in this one. I'll be taking the over 6.5.
All right, Mindy likes goals in this one with Detroit and Tampa. Detroit to Tampa 9-3 to the over at home, but I like Detroit 8-5 as a puck line dog, and Tampa Bay just 8-12 as a puck line favorite. Detroit just laying $1.30 to get that goal and a half, so I'll take Detroit plus 1.5 here against the Lightning. Mindy says go over 6.5. I think we might have some picks here, an under selection from Curtis going against you there. And Daryl says he'd rather go. I think what he's saying here. He'd rather go over 6 if he could. It's 6. What am I showing? 6. Yeah, 6. 6 over, and I think it's juiced to about minus 125 now possibly at the square shops, maybe 6 over 20 at the discount books. So, all right, Mindy's on the over, and I'm on the Detroit puck line
Oh,
there.
I could have said 6.5. So that's where they could be getting that from.
Okay, no, fair enough. I mean, I definitely did see a few 6.5, so I think there's plenty of value. But I also think there's a little bit of a reverse line move there that kind of worries me a little bit on that.
Yeah, that's probably what Curtis is taking a look at.
Because I actually was, if
Or
I was
Darren.
actually considering an under 6.5, if it was a reasonably priced 6.5, but I don't think it is right now. Even if you found a book with the 6.5, it looks a little steep on the juice for me. Again, I think the juice is so critical in totals. We often take it for granted. I think on when some of the talk about going over and under in hockey goals, because it could only be basically 5.5, 6, or 6.5 with a rare, 5 or 7s, right? So, all right, Blue Jackets here and the Penguins, and I think Elvis is back in the building, and in fact, I believe the only confirmed goalie on the slate. I'm not sure. He's confirmed though as an expected starter here against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, I have this one predicted score of 3-2. The Penguins, that minus 280, super steep for me. And Penguins have lost or been within 1 goal 3 of their last 4 games here. I'm going to take the Columbus Blue Jackets on the puck line plus 1.5 goals here today, minus 110.
I am going to agree with Mindy, and we're going to take the puck line plus 1.5 goals. I agree with this one for sure, Mindy. Look, I think that I've adjusted to 265, but I don't think the puck line is still. It's a pick 'em, basically a pick 'em on the puck line. So Columbus 7-3 to the over last 10. Pittsburgh 7-4 to the over at home. It is a big 6.5 juice to the over. Mindy does say 3-2 though, so that kind of does concern me because I would obviously need 4-3, and that's way off of her line here. Here's actually a Crush saying he likes the 1.5 on the laying the 1.5. So we're against Crush here, I'm afraid. Curtis says just lay the big 265. He's okay with that. But we're on Columbus. Mindy and I are on Columbus plus 1.5 goals against Pittsburgh here tonight. Yep. All right, 2 consensus so far. Let's take a look at the next one with Chicago. And they're going up against New Jersey and New Jersey. Wow.
Yeah, look at this. Crazy.
In fact, they've even taken more steam. They've taken widely reported steam up to 385 now. Puck lines minus 1.5, minus 145. Total 6.5 under 15.
So, Ramon, would you ever bet 100 to win 370? Or bet 370 to win 100?
This
Have
is
you done it?
Well, no. Here's the thing. Maybe not in this. I'm not talking about this situation. But if I am true to my numbers and a real handicapper, if my line was minus 500, I probably would like 385 to win 100.
Okay. Yeah. I gotcha.
I'm not saying that's the case in this game, but people say, "Oh, I will never lay," and I respect that. But
yeah, because I'm more on the camp of I would never do that, right? I mean, I would put it in, definitely put it in a money line parlay. But for me, it's not a big enough reward, for me to do that. But I was just wondering. I know that you've kind of talked about that. You are a little bit higher tolerance, usually like $2, something like that. Especially like with MMA, tennis, that sort of thing.
Well, okay, I should be clear on that. That when selling a play, you don't want to give out. I'm never going to give out 385 on a service play, and that could cost you actually units in the end. I'm just really trying to give out realistic plays, trying to stay within. Maybe on a combat sport or a head-to-head sport, I'd be willing to sell a play for minus $2, just as I'm willing to sell an underdog. I'm talking about being a tout now and selling plays. I'd be willing to sell a play up to $2. I really don't want to sell a play that's plus 300 or 400. I'd rather give that out for free, right? Because that's going
Right.
to probably attract more attention anyways. So when talking about being a tout and selling plays, I think I want to keep it within a window of minus 200 or lower, preferably as close to pick 'em as possible. When I look at a complete board of tennis, for example, I look at all the pick 'em matchups first, all the matchups that are 110, 120, maybe 150 and lower, and then maybe expand out to the wider lines. But when it comes to selling, I don't want to sell big underdogs. I don't want to sell big favorites. So just to make that clear, and I'm not saying that you or anybody else who is willing to just toss aside minus 385. I just think that realistically, if you are minus 500, they don't like this underdog talk. That's what I
Right.
So if my line is minus 550 and the money line's 385, probably going to consider the money line there. But also in turn, and I'll show it to you example in this play after you comment on the game. If you like a side or a puck line, for example, or a minus 1.5 in baseball. So what do you like in this game?
I like the over. I had it at like 6 goals. I think I'm still okay at 6.5 here. Devils putting up 4 per game over their last 4. Blackhawks, on the other hand, they're putting up almost 3 goals in their last 4 here as well. Overs hit 3 in the last 4 Blackhawks games. Overs hit 3 of the last 4 between the Devils and the Blackhawks in the last 3 seasons. I'm going to be taking the over.
Well, you know what? If it was 6 over, even maybe 25, maybe it is still. But there goes your sister. Bye.
There she goes, off to work.
Glad she was here to be around for half of the show on your birthday. And so, yeah, Mindy's on the over. If I was willing to maybe go on the over with you at 6 over. 5 of the last 6 meetings have gone over. But so what I'm saying here is, if you have a game that you do like, and again, if I have it graded now, a hockey game, not really ever going to have a team necessarily rated at minus $5. I might have a projection that says 5-2, which is kind of the equivalent of that. But I'd be more apt to say, lay the puck line, because it's still going to be the same. In fact, if you were really managing a serious bankroll, you might, lay, a half a goal in regulation. You might lay 1 goal in the game, 1.5 goals a game, and also even take some money on, kind of spread the money out. But when you're just firing away free picks, I'm going to give out New Jersey minus 1.5 goals here to beat Chicago. New Jersey's look pretty great right now. Chicago, 13-10 as a puck line dog, that usually would measure out. But man, this is some serious steam coming in on the Devils today. They'll probably win. All right, Mindy says go over 6.
Good rundown. Good rundown.
Yeah, I'm no expert here. That's the way if I was to formulate an expert opinion, that's what I think my opinion is.
Dogs are being crazy.
Opinions aren't good for much other than free picks. Hey, let's go with St. Louis and the Isles in this one. And I'm showing the Islanders are minus $1.65. Total 6 under 20.
What, these Blues now have lost 4 in a row, giving up 5.5 goals a game? Yuck. We were talking about how good the Blues have kind of been here as of late, too. Islanders 4-0 in the last 4 on 1 day's rest. Home team also 5-1 the last 6. Got to take the Islanders here, minus 165.
Yeah, probably do. I mean, the Blues are back to the bad Blues. They're back to the bad Blues, not the good Blues.
Right.
They've been really up and down. It seems like they're so streaky. I'm going to take them with you. Let's lay $1.65. They've lost 4 straight. They have the Blues, and the Isles have had pretty good season so far. Total, I wasn't sure on. Looking at it, 6 under 20 right now, because you got St. Louis. They're at least talking about giving up goals. They've gone over in 6 straight on the road. Curtis also with us. There we go. We got a consensus pick here with the chat in hockey, and we'll take it with Curtis and go with the Islanders minus 6.5. So St. Louis, 6-0, 6 straight overs on the road, but the Islanders are under in 6 of their last 7. So wasn't sure where to go with that. Let's take the Isles with Curtis, and we got 3 plays in hockey already.
We do. Look at us go.
Panthers and Jets here. I'm showing the Panthers $1.20 total, 6.5, maybe under 115 now. It's starting to trend under for sure.
Yeah, Panthers put up some goals here in the last 2 games, 5 in each of those. Jets are 1-1 in their last 2, scoring about 3 goals here a game. I'm going to take a look at the road team. They're 4-1 the last 5 here versus the Jets. I'll be taking the Panthers, which I'm not on very much here at all, at minus 120 today.
Okay, well, I'm just worried because Winnipeg does seem to play pretty well right now at home, 9-3 straight up at home. So Jets kind of, doing pretty well, and they're also doing it with some defense. I mean, they're also 2-9-1 to the under at home. And look at Curtis bringing the big flag in.
Right? Ready to go.
Winnipeg on the puck line, plus 1.5 at minus 240. So in this one, however, I think I'm going to go under. I like the way that Winnipeg is playing at home. That's how they're winning games. I'm not necessarily going to go against Mindy here, but I give Winnipeg a pretty big chance. So no matter the case may be, they're going to need it to go under to have that chance to beat Florida. I imagine if it goes over, that's how Florida gets it done. I'll go under. Mindy says take Florida minus $1.20. I've got under 6.5 goals. At minus 115, I'll be fair about it. I think it's a little bit juiced now to the under.
Okay.
All right, Mindy, and here's Toronto going up against Dallas, and I'm showing that it is probably a pick 'em now. Maybe Toronto might be even a slight favorite here, just the slightest of favorites. Total has dropped to 6/25, 6 over now.
I mean, Ottinger can't be as bad as his last game out, right? I mean, Maple Leafs, they've put up, a decent amount of goals here. 3.33 over the last 3 games. Stars, 4.67 over their last 3. Stars are ranked first in goals for, when I feel like last year we couldn't get them to score anything. But I like the Stars here today at home. I'll take them. Looks like they were at about minus 105.
All right, Mindy's on the Stars at home against Dallas. Yep. Well, I think Ottinger, you can't fault him. Right? I mean, he's been pretty good. And then to throw in a clunker, I don't think, I don't think that means much, right? Curtis, I think, says that's a Maple Leaf.
I think that is a Maple Leaf, yes. It looks like a Maple
Leaf. I think he wants the Maple Leafs on the road. He'll kind of go against you here. Toronto, 9-17 to the under. Dallas, 3-6-1 to the under in their last 10. This total just moved. Really, I think you could still find some 6.5 unders, but it just moved kind of to 6/25 at some books currently. So that's the way I was going to look at this game. I want to go over in this one with Toronto and Dallas. If you want to score my play at 6.5, I'm okay with that. I think it's moved under because these teams have trended to the under pretty heavily. So, maybe also a bounce back for Ottinger. If he is indeed in there. So I'll go over, though, in Toronto and Dallas. Mindy says take Dallas in this one.
I like the over. Got 6.5 as well.
Yeah, I think the perception would be, to immediately gravitate to the under with that matchup. But I almost want to say for a premium, the trends kind of kept me off. The trends themselves are what kind of kept me off the premium. Dallas's recent streak to the under a little bit, other than that game. Okay, Canadians here and Kraken, and I'm showing the Kraken. Kraken's taking some big money here. They're up to 255. 6.5 under 20.
Are you sure? 255?
At least.
Wow. The Canadians and the Kraken have won or last, 3 of their last 5 games here, each within 1 goal. No matter how you look at it, win one or lose one. Canadians are ranked 12th in penalty kill percentage here. Kraken are ranked 30th. Canadians are 8-5 on the road puck line. Man, I got to take the Canadians here plus the 1.5 goals.
Yeah, Canadians
have been, Curtis have been just not clicking today.
Oh boy,
I know, right?
He says lay that puck line. A great price today for Curtis, minus 1.5, minus 103. Obviously, Mindy not concerned too much either with her juice at minus $1.20 or so on the Montreal puck line. So, I think for me, we're trying to be objective about it. I mean, Seattle to be this big of that we always said, oh look, Seattle doesn't get they're not getting the respect right now. This seems like they're getting
right.
just too cheap, and now all of a sudden we got this big old price on them, right? So I think this one ends up probably heading to the under. Montreal's 4-9 to the under on the road. Seattle's 4-10 to the under at home. So that's the way I'm going to look at this one. Maybe the price is a little too high. I think you and Curtis both have the right idea. Not saying you or him are going to, hit this one, but because puck line pretty big variance. But
right.
At least the juice is fair there. You're not laying a big number here. 250 with Seattle.
And it's one of those that it probably will come down to that weird empty netter.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing, with Montreal coming off the back-to-back, the Wild game yesterday, I don't know maybe how they'll, I don't know if bounce back is a word, but when you have a game like that with 13 goals, we'll see how it goes tonight, but
right.
I'm gonna go under. I think it's probably a spot where you're like 1-0, 2-1. It better be after just had a 13 goal game. Might want to change something up. All right. Finally, we've got the Hurricanes going against the Ducks here. Hurricanes a huge road favorite, 275 or more. Total's about a 6 flat for sure.
Well, I mean, the Hurricanes have scored 5+ goals over their last 2. The Ducks have allowed 5+ goals over their last 2. The Ducks are putting it in the net here too. I'm going to go over that total. I'm going over 6.
All right. Yeah. Well, seems pretty reasonable. I mean, teams have kind of trended, under this year for sure, especially Carolina. Just 6-10 to the under on the road. Anaheim 4-6 to the under at home. So you have a comment on the Hurricanes on the puck line for Curtis. Thank you to Curtis today for great picks as well here. Mindy, you said take the over Carolina and Anaheim. I mean, another one of those big puck line games, and I don't know, Anaheim, they're usually getting a goal and a half, and they have not been doing much on the puck line at all today. They at all recently. They are 1-9 their last 10. I don't know how many times they were a favorite in those, but I didn't research it that heavily. But now that I think about it, I've got to think the Hurricanes on the puck line are going to be my call here. I'm going to take Carolina. Anaheim 1-9 on the puck line last 10 games. So I'll be on Carolina plus minus 1.5. There we go. All right. Saw you putting the play. That's what kind of threw me off there. Great idea, by the way.
You're like, are we going over them again? I should have put them all in one, but I didn't want it to be confusing, so that's why they're coming across as such.
No problem. I think it's a great idea, actually. I want to make you work more than you do, but that's a pretty good call right there.
That way, for the folks that are trying to multitask while working, they are there.
Of course, they'll be there at the end of the show for the replay as well. So, all right. Great show. Great job on that, actually. just underway. Right now, Morocco and Spain in the World Cup coming up later, Portugal and Switzerland. We talked about it a little bit. That's the action of the World Cup. Currently, no score, Morocco and Spain. Let's go over to Tony'sPicks.com one more time. Mindy, maybe you can tell us what's going on over there today with you. And
well, today's my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
And so for my birthday, I put together a 5-pack of plays. I also
I like this marketing strategy of yours.
Right. So then I also went ahead and put together some NBA action for you today in a package. And then I also did best bets for the NHL and NBA. I will be in action in college basketball, but didn't quite get to that. Was mostly, preparing for the show, because we do have to do a lot of work to put this, great piece of art together for you guys out there in the chat. So we appreciate your time and watching us. We had lots of folks here today for a Tuesday, so that's awesome. Let us know if there's other things that you'd like to cover. If you, are doing something else or would like us to cover things differently, just give us, some helpful hints there as well.
I just wanted to remind everyone that Team Steam, that's Mindy, that's I, and that's you folks in the chat making the comments, coming off a 7-0 performance yesterday right here. So, when you guys go over to Tony's Picks, hopefully you do. Hopefully you check up on Mindy and I and, see how our records are doing and how our plays or, even after the games are completed, how did those two do on their picks? Are they really as good as they say? That type of thing. But when you guys check to see how Morning Steam, and you see that up there, that's you guys, right? That's us. It's you, Mindy, me, and the rest of the chat. So I think you guys are already involved in the handicapper leaderboards. I'll tell you what, Tony's got some exciting things planned for everyone right now in the chat that watches all of our shows. It's going to let you guys post your picks and get notoriety right here on the site. And it's not going to be just some site that you can sign up a bunch of emails, and if once you go 0-5, you can start a new one. We're going to vet everybody in it through phone verification, which is what we're trying to do, through phone verification so that everyone has a legitimate account and let you guys
put your picks
compete, if you will, but also post your picks for the world to see. Yes, you can post them here in our chat. We hope you have good picks and all that, but we're going to have our own site where you can post your picks, get notoriety, ride the top of the handicapper leaderboards. I'll probably join too. I think I'll join that and put more plays in on there. I think that'd be a neat little feature for us if they allow it, but to participate in that too, to give more plays, to have more interaction with the community and stuff like that. So, hey, Kabir Gibson, maybe we've seen you before, but
I don't recall, but that's awesome. I appreciate you commenting. And thank you for the birthday wishes, everyone.
Awesome. So that's coming. I want to say right away, but that's just something in the works. And I know Tony.
It sounds like it may be contest for cash prizes and such. I think it's a great idea. And Tony's got just great things in the works coming up for everyone here, especially those for Team Steam.
Yeah, so that's just it. So when you look at Team Steam and you see the standings every day, you go to the Who's Hot list and you see right there Morning Steam on the top. You guys should take pride in that's our team. That's all of us here on the show. We're not competing against the likes of the other handicappers, but it just shows everyone that, hey, I watched Morning Steam and look, we were all 7-0 yesterday, pulling off a great card. So that's what we're trying to do with this show. And man, to have another 40-pack of people in here and getting up to a couple hundred, 200-300 viewers on the show. It's just awesome. If you're watching on the replay, go ahead and leave your picks at the bottom as well. I mean, I'll read every comment, that's for sure. When we get some, we're not getting enough, really. So love to hear from you. All right, Mindy, great job. Pick up our packages over there at Tony'sPicks.com and use the promo code TonyT at checkout. That saves 20%, especially if you're buying the Team Steam package. Let me mention that too, Mindy. If you missed the show, now you can scroll down and look at the chat too. We're making it even easier for you. But East Side Vinny, awesome to have you.
All right. Yes.
Awesome. You're on Team Steam from here on out. Just make sure to join us 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, Saturday through Thursday, 6 days a week, and be part of the team. Put your picks in the chat. We flash them up there. We usually agree with you. Today we had some disagreements. Hopefully we don't. Yeah. But you can buy the picks over at Tony'sPicks.com by clicking Morning Steam and subscribing to the packages. That way, if you ever miss our picks or miss the show and you're in a hurry, you're all subscribed up. It does cost a little bit of money, but it keeps Mindy and I, we're contractors with this company, but we love being part of this community and this team, not just with you guys, but with Tony and all the crew as well. So, all right, everyone, thanks a lot. Want to thank Mindy for putting together a great show, the executive producer of the Morning Steam, Mindy Hahn. Appreciate everything you do, and happy birthday to you. Have a great day on your special day. And
it's going to be a lot of food, Ramon. It's going to be, it sounds like, China buffet for lunch. And then we're actually doing it almost all over. Only we're going Japanese hibachi for dinner. And then, my favorite cake from the Sugar Makery. And I like to give a shout out to the Sugar Makery. They're amazing. Marble cake.
Might be our first sponsor here.
The Sugar Makery.
I wish I could join you. It sounds like
I know. Awesome. It would be fun if you could. Eventually, we'll get to meet up and
look at Tony checking in. It's great to have Tony. So hopefully you've been part of our group. I think that's really cool, especially if some of you have been viewers and actually taken the effort to wish Mindy a happy birthday as your first comment. I hope that that's the case, because we've seen definitely 3 or 4 names on here that made the first comment as a happy birthday to Mindy. So maybe you guys
Don't be shy, folks.
Been watching, and you don't have to comment on that, but you can comment on that, and that just makes us feel really good with all the new names that were here today. So Dave, you're not new, but you're giving out a parlay. I imagine that just means go on all
a Joker parlay.
Points props over. It was with AD, LeBron, Luka, and Joker to go over. I would guess in their points parlay, or maybe just any stats parlays. But thank you for that comment.
Oh, look, we got more coming in. We should just stay on, and I can.
Relish
in all of the happy birthdays.
Yep, K Jizz just got here. Awesome, but we don't. We know you'll be here whenever you can. So great to have his comment as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of the folks too that have to work or do watch on the replay as well.
Yeah, so I got my work cut out for me now. We'll get out of here, Mindy. But until we get too many that I can never do this, everyone will get shouted out. KJiz, DBLS03 Chicago was here. Tony Livernessi, hope I got it right. Eastside Vinny was here. Kabir was here with us today. Mindy Curtis, bringing the heat today for sure. Your sister was here as well. You got to mention her. Especially, don't forget, she just happened to go 6-1 yesterday.
Yeah.
We probably did. Yeah, I feel bad now. We should have showed her stats because she was watching.
Right.
So even though she's not watching now, please tell her that we talked about our record at least at the end of we did say the record when we were going.
We don't want her head to get too big, right? I mean,
No, well, especially the way she's been hot of late too. She's been putting together some big days. Walk This Way was here.
1975.
Yeah, well, he's in your group. So Daryl Turner was doing a great job with us today as well. He is definitely part of Team Steam. Crush was here as well today. Also, we had Blake. Can't forget about Blake. Was here. 954 Reese was joining us. It's great to have him. Matt came in with some comments. Ibrahim stopped by early. So did Jose. Was here as always. Gerardo made the stop as well. He gave out some soccer in that. Hope you guys saw that. I should have mentioned it. Sorry, brother. But I think that did it for all the commenters today. That's a long list, and I really like doing that. So we're going to do it. All right, Mindy, great job. Happy birthday. Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody. Catch you tomorrow. More teams team. Great college basketball tomorrow and the other sports as well. For Mindy Hahn, I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining us.